Hello everybody! Today we're looking at supernatural horror books that will make your skin crawl. I'm talking ghosts, demons, entities, and anything unexplainable. This is one of my absolute favourite subgenres, and these books are going to be absolutely perfect going into spooky season and Halloween. And as always, please check content warnings before diving into any of these books. First up, we have Mary by Nat Cassidy. Mary is a quiet, middle-aged woman. She considers herself to be unremarkable, invisible, and unknown even to herself. But lately, Mary has been experiencing some strange changes. It starts with hot flashes and body aches, but she also can't even look in the mirror at herself without passing out. And she has voices in her head that are urging her to do unspeakable things. Just when things can't get any worse, Mary gets fired from her job in New York, but she gets a call from her sick aunt asking her to come and help look after her in her hometown. So Mary takes this as an opportunity to reconnect with her past self, but instead she becomes plagued with visions of mutilated women. And then Mary discovers that all of these things are coinciding with an infamous serial killer, and she gets a lot more than she bargained for. I read this book very recently after hearing a bunch of amazing things about it, and it did not disappoint. This book is not readily available in the UK, so when I saw it in the bookshop, I immediately bought it. I was really shocked to see it, and I've been after this book for ages, so I feel like I struck gold a little bit there. There's one scene in this book in particular that I did not like because of my personal tastes, but there are lots of amazing things in here too. It's also very reminiscent of Carrie, which the author drew a lot of inspiration from, but they also added their own spin to it. Then next up, we have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This is my second copy of this book because they dropped this new cover not that long ago, and it is absolutely stunning. This one follows Noemi, who is a socialite that receives a very concerning and frantic letter from her newlywed cousin. She is begging for help, so Noemi goes to visit her at High Place, which is a distant, isolated house in the Mexican countryside. This is like nothing Noemi has experienced before, but she is very smart and tough, and she does not submit to her cousin's strange new family. But also the house starts to invade Noemi's dreams with dark visions. She unwittingly finds an ally in the family's youngest son, who's very shy and gentle, but he also seems to be hiding some of the family's secrets. And she is determined to get to the bottom of them before they are stuck in this house for good. This is one of my favorite horror books ever. It's actually been years since I read it, so I'm definitely feeling a reread at some point to see if it stands the test of time, but I have no doubts that it will. And it just contains everything that I love in my horror books. Next up, we have We Used to Live Here by Kliewer, one of my absolute favorite books of last year. Charlie and Eve are a young couple that flip houses, and they think they have got an absolute steal on their latest project, an old house in a very picturesque neighborhood. But as Eve is working on the house one day, there comes a knock at the door. A man is standing there with his entire family, claiming to have lived there years before, and he wants to show his kids around. Eve is a bit of a people pleaser, so she agrees even if she doesn't really want to, and as soon as the strangers enter her home, weird things start happening. The family's youngest child goes missing, and a ghostly presence is materializing in the basement, and as much as Eve tries once they're inside, this family will not take the hint that she wants them to leave. Then the worst happens and Charlie suddenly disappears. She can't tell if she's just imagining things or if something is truly wrong with this house. I cannot tell you how excited I was about this book when I first read it. It's super mysterious. There's things like Morse code in here that if you're a nerd like me, you will want to figure it out yourself. There's a little bit of mixed media in here, but not a ton. And I am absolutely desperate for more books within this world or exploring this house in particular. I did also read The Caretaker by this same author, and it didn't give me the same excitement and the same feeling that We Used to Live Here did. It's also based on one of Reddit's No Sleep's Scariest Stories, and I always say that if you're interested in reading House of Leaves, but you're not sure if it'll be your cup of tea, this is a great intro into that kind of genre. If anyone has any similar recommendations, please put them down in the comments, I'm begging you. Then we have The Watchers by A.M Shine. This one follows Mina, who has taken a job to earn a quick bit of cash. She is driving when her car suddenly breaks down in a forest that isn't on any map, it's completely uncharted. She is left stranded and is forced to enter the woodland in the hopes of finding some help, but all she finds is a woman screaming at her, urging her to rush to this concrete bunker. And once inside, the door is slammed shut and the building is besieged with screams from outside. Mina finds herself with a bunch of strangers in a room with a wall of glass and a bright electric light that illuminates this whole space at nighttime, because nightfall is when the Watchers come above ground. The creatures observe the captive humans, and anyone who isn't inside the bunker by nightfall falls prey to these terrible things. Some of these people have been trapped here for a long time, but Mina is desperate for answers, and most importantly, she wants to escape. If you have watched the movie adaptation of this book, I beg you, please do not let that influence your opinion of the source material. I absolutely loved the book. Can't remember if I read it because I saw that the movie was coming out and I wanted to obviously experience the book first. But either way, I read the book and I was like, this is great. Can't wait to see this in a movie format. Butchered is a strong word, but they did not do justice to this book. It's just such a cool, creepy, incredible concept. And what I feel like the movie lacked, you will be satisfied in the book. I feel like there's a lot more character development. They're way more well-rounded and 3D characters. They're not there purely just for exposition purposes. And there is also a sequel to this one that I'm still yet to read, so I definitely will be getting around to that at some point soon. As we're about halfway through the books now, if you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe, I really appreciate it. Then we have Maggie's Grave by David Sodergren. This is set in a small Scottish town. Only 47 people live here. It's a forgotten place that sits in the shadow of a mountain. There's nothing to do there, nothing to see, except for one solitary grave near the top of the mountain that reads Maggie Wall buried here as a witch. This book follows a group of teenagers living in this town. They are bored, they want some excitement, so they decide it would be a great idea to go and check out this grave. But sometimes the dead don't stay buried, especially when they have unfinished business. I have loved every single David Sodergren book that I've read, and this one is definitely up there near the top. This is definitely the most brutal, gory, graphic book on this list today. It's definitely in the splatterpunk genre, so be aware going into this one, that is definitely what you're gonna get. There are scenes in this that I can't unread now, but I've always said this, David Sodergren does such a good job of writing gore and horror that is so over the top that after a certain point it starts to become funny because it is just so out there. This one also has a great twist to it and will certainly not go amiss if you read this during Halloween. Next we have Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. Camp Damascus is the self-proclaimed most effective gay conversion camp. They have a 100% success rate, so parents send their children here from around the world. Rose lives in the town very close to Camp Damascus and they are a God-fearing community. Rose has some deep desires buried inside of her and she feels like something is starting to awaken, but then she starts throwing up flies and seeing visions of a pale woman with sagging skin that is following her around. Her parents try to brush all of these things off. Obviously, there is something very suspect about this conversion camp and Rose is determined to get to the bottom of it. I absolutely adored the first half of this book, I want to say. It was very creepy, very mysterious. I think that's probably one of the reasons why it lost me in the second half. It's not that this book wasn't good, because otherwise I wouldn't include it on this list. But for me, things are a lot scarier when they are unexplained. I like a bit of mystery to them. And this book kind of took a steer away from that in the second half, which was still really fun and very interesting. But that first half was just so cool to me. Then lastly, we have Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. This one follows Anna, who every year her family go on an annual trip. She feels like she's often the only one in her family that doesn't fit in. She has a twin brother who just goes with the flow and an older sister who brings along her husband and their 2 kids. She often feels like she gets in trouble for just asking questions and is constantly being asked about her life choices. This year they are visiting a absolutely gorgeous villa in a Tuscan town that seems like the perfect place to just endure this family vacation. That is until strange things start to happen. There are strange noises at night, the food is rotting almost instantly, and then come some disturbing warnings from the town's locals. They tell Anna, don't open the tower door. Obviously, we know it's a horror book. Anna opens this tower door and things go very wrong, and what is released threatens to devour her and her entire family. This one took some very cool turns that I didn't expect it to. However, if families and families that argue make you uncomfortable, be wary with this one. And I would definitely compare it to Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. If you loved those TV shows, definitely give this one a crack. It's a very good twist on a haunted house story. So they are 7 supernatural horror books. If you've read any of these ones, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.